The Nasdaq 100 index is a very common futures contract that a lot of traders like to analyze and look for trades on. So let's go ahead and discuss some of the variables relating to the Nasdaq 100. First off, on my charting platform, I need to understand how to load on a Nasdaq 100 contract. So I'm going to go to New, Chart, and then under Instruments, I'm just going to type in Nasdaq. And when I pull that up under the search terms, I will see a couple different options. And what I want to do is narrow this down to a futures contract. So I'm going to select futures. And then what I'm going to do is look for either the E-mini or the micro E-mini contract for Nasdaqs to look for trades on. I'm going to start off with the Nasdaq and double click it. And we will see the expiration date for the Nasdaq contract, which the current one that we are looking at is the March 2024 contract. And then after I load that, I'll pick the time frame that I'd like to conduct my analysis with, and I'll stick with the 5-minute and click OK. And once that loads, I will see the Nasdaq 100 futures contract, March 2024 contract on a 5-minute time frame loaded to the chart. And the first thing you might notice is, hey, over here, it ain't moving in pennies. Well, that's because the minimum increment of movement for the NASDAQ 100 futures contract is going to be 25 cents worth of movement. So every time the market moves, it's going to be in 25-cent increments. So as you see right now, it's going to 0.00, 0.25, 0.50, back to 0.00. They're moving in 25-cent increments. That is a tick. Every 25 cents of movement is going to be one tick worth of movement. And depending on your entry point and your direction that you determine is going to determine if it's profitable or negative. So where do you go to find that information? Well, I like to go to primary source. And so I go right to my broker. And what I'll do is go to NinjaTrader.com, go to pricing, and when you get to the pricing window, scroll down to where it says View Margins by Market. Left-click View Margins by Market, and when you get to this page where it says Enter Contract to Search, type in NASDAQ, and then click Search, and then scroll down to where we see symbol, and then we can see here's the symbol for the NASDAQ 100 E-mini contract. Here's the exchange it's on, the group, as well as the margin requirement for day trading hours, as well as if you're looking to carry a trade over trading sessions. So to get this information, I'm going to click right here, the descriptor. And on this page, this is where it's going to have all of the information needed for the NASDAQ 100. So right here will be the months that we can look for contracts on. If I click the question mark, it'll tell me HMUZ, which is what was on the page. So that would be the March, the June, the September, and the December contracts. So that means I can't look for a NASDAQ 100 contract on February. I can't look for a NASDAQ 100 contract on May. It will be on the March, June, September, or December months, we can look for NASDAQ 100 contracts. After that, we can see the valuation, the increments. So a tick is going to be 25 cents of movements on the chart. Every 25 cents it moves is going to equal $5. So if it moves 25 cents positive, that would mean $5 positive on that trade. Here's the hours that the NASDAQ is going to be open to look for trades on. Here's your exchange fees and all your other fees for the trades. And keep in mind, this is one way. Futures trades are going to be round trip, so you got to multiply that for your in trade as well as your out trade. And then the margin required for one contract to be entered into on the NASDAQ. So let's say you love it, you do the research, but you can't afford it. Well, let's type in NASDAQ again in the search. And let's see here, there's a micro contract. Micro E-mini Nasdaq 100. So let's pull that up. And if we look, it's going to follow a lot of the same details. It's going to have the same hours. The months are going to still be the same. We can pull that up here with that question mark. And then the amount that it moves is still the same. Every 25 cents on a chart is one tick. However, instead of being $5 a tick, it's going to be 50 cents a tick. The fees are going to be slightly less as well. And keep in mind, these are one way. So you have your in trade and then the fees for the out trade. And then here's your margin requirements. And here's your margin requirements for the micro Nasdaq. And as you see, it's going to be $100 per contract or $1,947 if you're looking to carry one contract to another trading session. Here's your symbol, MNQ. And for the E-mini Nasdaq, that's going to be NQ, which stands for Nasdaq. And we can see that listed right here. So if one is interested in trading either the micro E-mini Nasdaq or the E-mini Nasdaq, you can get the information right here from your broker.